Humble Harve, the National Album Countdown, and we're talking to Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys, who is at home in Malibu and resting up in between their album. Carl, we understand that it's going to be a double album.
Right.
It's going to be, one side is going to be oldies, the other side will be new material.
Yeah. Well, one disc will be old stuff, and then one disc will be new material. We cut things like A Casual Look, In the Still of the Night. We cut Blueberry Hill, Sea Cruise, Rock and Roll Music, Chuck Berry song, Talk to Me. Just the tunes that we've been wanting to cut for a long time.
This is a project that actually has been in the back of your minds for quite a while, right?
Oh, yeah. It's like, it really is kind of like Stone Wild Oats, you know? It's like Brian's wanted to cut these tunes forever, you know?
Especially songs like In the Still of the Night.
In the Still of the Night, yeah. I love that song.
Well, you know, I haven't heard the album yet, but when I do hear it, I know I'm going to fall down, just like every other Beach Boys fan.
I see.
And what let's talk about the new album also.
Okay.
What kind of stuff is on the new album?
The new stuff is sounding more like in between Pet Sounds and Surf's Up album. You know, that's kind of a ridiculous kind of way to describe it, but I don't know how else. You know, Brian's written one thing called My Solution, which is really a bizarre piece, and another one is called Hadophonia.
What is My Solution about?
It's just about a mad scientist, you know, who came up with this peace solution, you know. And it's just
bizarre.
It's bizarre. I mean, it's really bizarre. It is bizarre.
Well, you know something? If you can recall, I was at the Good Vibration session. Remember?
Yeah.
When you guys were doing that?
Yeah, CBS.
And some people thought that was bizarre.
Yeah.
But it went on to become a million seller and everything else. I don't think anything that the Beach Boys do could possibly be called bizarre.
Well,
I could just say that musically, maybe ahead by 2 or 3 years of other people, where Brian is, where you are, and other people in the group. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. That lagging period that went on, say, around like 67, 8, 9, around then, when you guys were sort of regrouping and didn't know if you wanted to go, quote, psychedelic, stuff like that.
Well, we were just hanging out, you know, just being alive.
But you know, I'll tell you what really proved out to be the truth of the matter was that the Beach Boys went ahead and just did the Beach Boys, right? Yeah. And were rediscovered again, right, as the Beach Boys, and have gone on to become bigger, right, more popular than ever, just by doing your own thing. I think that is where it's at, doing your own thing.
Yeah, well, we really feel lucky, you know, just really luck out there, and we felt really good about being acknowledged, you know, and having the Capitol repackages, you know, Endless Summer.
Right.
And Spirit of America really kind of blew the door open again, you know. So
I know, I did one of you.
It was very pleasing, you know. It was really, we weren't even involved in that, you know. Like Endless Summer came out, and we were going, what? And this album came out, and it was really, you know, popular and sold a lot of records and all that stuff. So it was really, it's been a fantastic experience.
Let's talk about the tour.
Okay.
What is the tour going to consist of?
Well, the tour starts July 2nd here. Wait a second. July 2nd in San Francisco, or Oakland Stadium, I think. And then we're going to play here on the 3rd. And then I think on the 5th we're going to play the Hula Bowl.
When you say here, you mean L.A.?
Los Angeles, yeah.
Is that with the Eagles?
And that's with America.
With America.
Right.
Wasn't there something I read going with, you're going to be with the Eagles also?
Yeah, we're doing some gigs with the Eagles too. Those are in the East.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing Pittsburgh, Three River Stadium, and I think Philadelphia. Wait, I'm not really clear on the dates, you know?
Yeah.
On that thing. But the tour starts in July, and we do the first weekend, and then we have like, we're going to, you know, play in Hawaii for the, you know, for the remainder of the week, and then the next weekend we start the Eagles dates, which is the next following, that's through July.
Do you know what I think?
What?
I think that you're going to be standing room only everywhere you go, and it's going to be the biggest show to come down the road this summer.
Everybody seems to think it's going to do really well.
It's going to be a monster.
We got a really neat stage this year with a boat, really big
People
boat.
are dying to see the Beach Boys.
Oh, that's nice.
They call me all the time, man, on the telephone. Hey, man, are the Beach Boys going to, you know, and I don't know what to tell them, but now that I saw, you know, when you're going to be, you're going to be jammed, mobbed. I'm telling you.
People
Get
really,
ready for it, man.
People really come out. You know, it's a really beautiful experience to see a lot of people. To be in the same room with 20,000 people or in the same stadium with a lot of people, you know.
And making them feel good, too.
Yeah, and then making you feel good.
Right.
The thing is that it really blows my mind because they allow us to exist, you know.
I wanted to ask you a question that I ask people who are really heavyweight people like you are and have been doing this thing for a long time. When you put your all out, when you're up on the stage and you do your thing and you see the audience reaction and they go nuts or whatever, and you make them crazy, doesn't that do the same thing for you?
Yeah, it really is an amazing. It really is a charge. I mean, it really is a thrill. You know, it's like it's just us guys. You know what I mean? You know how it is.
Yes, I do.
You know, so it's just us guys. You know, just doing our part. You know, and singing the tunes.
It makes all the work worthwhile.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a very beautiful experience. Very beautiful. It really is a thrill. And
it also fills a need too. It fills our need to be accepted that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does
that's a certain part of it.
Does a lot of things. I don't know. It just is a wonder, you know, to me. It's like you start out in a room making music and then it gets put on a disc and then it's on the radio and everybody, you know, hears it and then, you know, the whole thing is just a wonder, you know.
I got to ask you about your studio. Tell me what the studio is like in Santa Monica.
It's beautiful. I love the studio.
Now, didn't you guys have your own studio in Bel Air?
Oh, yeah, we did at Brian's house.
In Brian's house?
5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we took it out because it was like, it was kind of an imposition.
I know what you mean. It can get funky when people are trumping in and out of guitars and things with equipment. And when a van rolls up to your house at 2 in the morning, right, and starts making noise.
Oh, yeah, and the studio was right under the master bedroom, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and we'd be going till like 7, 8 in the morning, you know.
Well, I was there at the studio, and I saw some dynamite equipment in there. You guys didn't mess around. I mean, there was some very expensive stuff in there.
Yeah. Oh, we have a much better studio now.
Well, I'm sure if the Beach Boys are on a case, it's done well and properly.
Oh yeah, it's a really great studio.
So it's your own place in Santa Monica.
Yeah. Yeah, I love being there. It's another world, you know. It's like when you go in the door, you're just in another world. I love it. Of course, I'm a fool for recording, you know, or for jamming or anything, you know. I'm up for anything when it comes to playing music, you know.
Let's talk about the new album again. Is there a concept behind it?
Well, so far the concept is really just to do an album of tunes that we've always wanted to do and get that out of our system, and to do the tunes that we've been writing lately, you know, and the tunes that, and to kind of do a new album, you know, because we haven't done a studio album in like 3 years or so.
Do you have a working title for the album?
No.
Not yet.
No.
I'm sure you'll come up with a heavyweight title.
Well, it'll be called something more, you know.
That's it. That's the title, man. Something.
Something, right.
Something by the Beach Boys.
Yeah. I love your voice, Harve.
Hey, man, I want to tell you something. There is no bigger fan in the world of the Beach Boys than Humble Harve. I have freaked out. When we first heard, I have to go over this scene again for the people on the radio that don't know. First time I ever heard your music was back in Philadelphia. And we didn't know what to make of it, man.
Yeah.
We didn't know what it was. We said, what is surfing music? We don't understand that. We couldn't get into it. I mean, we dug it, but we couldn't rationalize the music. We weren't living it. It was 3,000 miles away. It's like somebody saying, man, I heard Don Ho play, and he's really out of sight. And you say to yourself, Don Ho, yeah, but I'm not into that. You know, I can't see it. I can't feel it. But the music transcended everything. And surfing music took over in Kansas, Missouri, places where it's pretty far walk to the beach, right? And proving that as musical form.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's the experience. I think it's the feeling that people experience when they hear music, and I think that's the attraction of the group, you know?
Well,
I mean, talking regarding popularity, I think it's the experience people have or the feelings that they experience when they hear our music. And I think that's one of the great functions of music is that it allows people to experience feelings. You're like hearing a sad song. You can experience sadness in a very safe way, hearing a sad song, instead of just going, oh, shit, I feel crappy or sad or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just as a, I don't know. That could.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know. It just occurred to me that might be so.
Yes, it's true. And what also is true is that when people hear the Beach Boys, they know that they're singing from their heart. They're singing about their experiences in life, and they feel it. It's honest music, man. There's no phoniness to it. It's about what you guys are living and how you're feeling and expressing. Yeah. That's one of the reasons the music has taken over.
Yeah, the music for us is, oh, God, music.
Well, how about Brian? Now, we've heard Brian is now into a health kick, right?
Yeah, he sure is, man.
And he's doing his jogging number?
Yeah, he's jogging at UCLA every morning.
That's with Mike's brother.
Yeah, with Stan.
Right.
He's really doing a health trip now,
Good.
Yeah. Brian has always been like that, like really of the moment extreme in life, just do it,
Yes, me. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I have these periods of bursts of energy, man.
Yeah.
Where I have to do something, and then I break down and eat a cherry pie. I go to Marie Callender's, and that's the end of the whole thing, man.
That would have been a nice tune to cut.
Pardon me?
That would have been a nice tune to cut.
Yeah, right. Cherry pie, man.
Yeah.
Skip and flip.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a long time.
We did Talk to Me. I like the way Talk to Me turned out. That was nice.
Do you know who wanted to produce you so bad but never could get the words up out of his mouth to call you? Phil Spector.
Oh, Phil?
Yeah.
Oh, God, we always loved Phil.
Phil Spector wanted to record you so bad, man. He wanted to do a whole R&B album, right?
Yeah.
All R&B Motown songs with you guys doing them and him producing.
That would be fun.
With Brian. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, I'm
Brian's
very happy that...
too.
Listen, Brian's back in the studio after an absence of how long?
3 years? Almost 4 years?
3 years.
Yeah.
And everyone that we talk to says he's got it together.
Oh, yes.
Definitely got it together.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, he's a monster. It's incredible being with him,
Well, he's a catalyst for the whole group. Yeah. Is he going to be singing with you?
Yeah.
I mean, live singing with you on your concerts?
I don't know, I ain't going to promise, but I think he's coming on the road. We've been talking about it. He's saying he really wants to, and I think he's going to make it. Well,
I'm going to start talking on the radio and saying that he'll be in L.A.
Okay, well, I sure hope he makes it.
And if I start talking on the radio, maybe that'll prompt him to really do it.
Maybe it will.
You know?
Uh-huh.
Because I really like to see him, man. I'd like to see him out on the stage playing the piano or something.
Yeah. I'll call you up before the gig, and then we can get together.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely. Okay, listen, I want to just... is there anything else we want to talk about concerning the album itself? It's going to be released when?
I think in June.
June?
I think it'll be out in June.
Okay.
Maybe late May or June. I'm not really certain. We want to, take our time with it. We're having a good time with it.
Good, man.
It's been great. It really has.
It's important to have a good time, man, doing anything.
Yeah.
Especially when it concerns hard work.
Yeah.
And it is work, man. It's definitely hard work to prepare an album.
Yeah, it is work, but for us, it's fun. We're fools. Are you kidding? To record?
Have mercy. Have mercy. The Beach Boys, man. The Beach Boys, that's who.
Hey, thank you, Harve.
Thank you very much, Carl. And listen, I'll be in touch with you. Oh, look, if you could get that clearance for me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that today.
Okay. And then will somebody call me and let me know?
Yeah, I'll call you.
Intro. After. Humble Harve of the National Album Countdown. We're talking to Gerry Beckley of America. Gerry is in town in Los Angeles. Right now he's at a rehearsal hall in Hollywood. And you're rehearsing for your new tour, is that right?
Yes, hi out there. We are picking and grinning down at our rehearsal hall, getting ready for another tour.
This tour is going to be in Los Angeles also, right?
No, we're actually doing this on the East Coast.
And we understand that the Beach Boys will be with you?
Uh-huh. That will be later in July, I believe.
So you're not coming west at all?
There are some dates here.
Here in Los Angeles?
Yes, but for the tour that we're working on right now, it's only a 2-weeker, and it'll be mainly on the East Coast.
We'd like to ask you about your new album, which is called
Hideaway.
Hideaway.
Yes.
And it's due out very shortly. Is it a concept album for America?
Yes, we kind of wanted to get out of the city thing and go somewhere where it was quiet and no people, so we went to Colorado and did Hideaway. And it sounds pretty good. We had a good time up there.
Was that the same studios that Elton John uses?
Yes, Caribou.
Caribou. Well, what's so nice about that particular studio that attracts people like you there?
Mainly the setting, I think. It's in the mountains, and you're pretty secluded there. And there's really not much to do but work and play the music.
All the extravagances of the city are eliminated.
Right.
The hustle, bustle, and whatever.
Uh-huh.
So you just have to get down with nature. Does that influence your music?
I think it did. Because, like I said, there's nothing else to do there.
Would you be more country influenced by the setting?
No, I don't think so. Because most of the songs were like rehearsed and stuff in Los Angeles before we went up there. And we mainly just went up there and recorded and came back.
Well, if you're going to do some licks that come out of your head anyway, in a setting like that, would it influence what you're going to say musically?
No, not really, because it's pretty much lined out before we go. And
it's just an easy place to work, is it?
Right.
On the Hideaway album, which are the cuts that you like?
I like Amber Cascade, I believe, and Jet Boy Blue, and She's a Liar's nice, kind of rock and rollish.
As far as the album goes, you say it's a Hideaway album.
Mm-hmm.
Is it about your recording in Caribou?
Mm-hmm. That was the concept, to just kind of hide away.
Any particular thing on there that might influence anybody musically that you haven't done before?
Well, you never know till it gets out there, you know.
Is there a new concept or a new musical bag that you're into, or trying something experimental?
No, not actually. It's pretty much the same format.
As far as the tour goes, you're going to be with the Beach Boys on the East Coast, and on the West Coast, you'll be by yourselves?
No, that was backwards. We're doing the East Coast now, and then we'll be working with the Beach Boys later in July, out here on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Is that something new for you to work with another group like that?
No, we've done that type of thing before.
I mean, recently.
No, not recently.
Is there going to be
like
something?
Tours before.
Will there be something different about this tour? Well, now that you have the Beach Boys with you, will that change your bag, whatever?
No, not at all. We'll just do our thing, and they'll do theirs.
And you feel it's a complimentary thing all the way around?
Certainly so.
Okay.
Nice bunch of people.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So is America.
Well, thank you.
From what everybody tells me, America is just as nice as any other group could possibly be. And I think the people realize that, too. The concept of your other albums has been what people might call country rock. Would you put it in that bag?
We like to call it middle of the rock.
Middle of the rock.
You dig?
Yeah.
All right.
So this album that you just recorded, Hideaway, is middle of the rock.
I would say yes.
Is there anything we can look forward to from America in the next 3-4 months that might be happening on television or whatever?
Not at this moment. I'm not real sure. I don't think we have anything planned for TV, but maybe later in the year. It depends on how much time we have between the tours and what comes down with the work and all.
We understood from somebody, I forget which source it was, that you might be doing some film scoring or whatever.
That has been kicked around a little bit, and it may happen.
And there was some talk about some kind of a trip with John Denver. I don't know where that came from, but you and John Denver together.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay. See the way the rumors are, baby.
Yeah, really.
They fly. Well, continued good luck, because certainly America is right on top where they belong, and we Would certainly hope to see you when you're in Los Angeles. You give us a call, and we hope this album gets as big as the other ones have been for you and are.
Thank you much, Harve.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gerry.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Humble Harve of the National Album Countdown. We're talking to Robbie Bachman of B.T.O, who has now just finished a luncheon press conference at the Yamashiro restaurant here in Hollywood, right?
Right.
Did you have good lunch?
Yeah, kind of strange food, but once I got into it was really good.
Strange soup.
Food, everything.
Oh, really?
Deep fried.
Strange food.
Deep
Sounds
fried.
like a good cut for an album.
Yeah.
Strange Food by
Okay.
B.T.O. Have mercy. Well, listen, we wanted to talk to you about your album, Head On, which is a smash album, and your new single, Looking Out for Number One, which is on the album, right?
Yeah.
Is this this is the single you wrote?
No, that was Randy.
Randy wrote that.
Yeah, Randy wrote that.
Okay.
And actually, it's like a Randy and me type song. There's like a guitar riff, him singing, and conga drums, timbales, maracas, cowbells, and drums and everything. It's like a Latin American type beat to it. And very little other instruments, you know, like bass and other guitars. So it's like it's almost like a duo type thing, a little duet, you would call it.
Humble Harve of the National Album Countdown. We're talking to Robbie Bachman of B.T.O, who is at the Yamashiro restaurant here in Hollywood. They just had a press conference. They're on their way to the Long Beach Arena for a concert. How is the food there?
Oh, it's really good.
Good? Anything about strange food?
Yeah, deep fried vegetables and this raw fish and stuff like that. And
That's healthy for you, man.
yeah,
Really healthy for you.
yeah, tastes really fresh, you know.
Humble Harve of the National Album Countdown. We're talking to Robbie Bachman of Bachman Turner Overdrive. We'd like to know about the Head On album. On there is a cut called Stay Alive, which was written by Randy, and it's in mono. Why is it in mono?
Why is it in mono? For the old, I guess the old original rock and roll sound, we had Little Richard playing piano on there, and you can really hear the difference after hearing the whole album, and that's the last song. And once it gets to that song, it seems to be so much fuller, like both speakers, instead of hearing like left and right, you hear right in the center, and it really has a really old raw rock and roll sound. And we just wanted something different on the album, something that would stand out, and that's what we seem to do for that.
Do you guys like to do it the old-fashioned way? I mean, do you believe in the Phil Spector school of mixing everything down into one big bam?
The odd time, yeah.
Isn't that the way rock and roll was meant to be?
I think so. A really good raw feeling, and that's mostly what you get out of rock and roll. You know, simple, beat-pounding music, really easy to follow, and very straightforward. There are the odd songs, like when you have double solos in that, where, you know, Randy's on the left side of the speaker and Blair's on the right. But with this song, Stay Alive, was like a really, you know, really boogie rock and roll song. And we wanted to get as original sound as possible for that.
Well, you being a drummer, don't you find that mono sound is sometimes more percussive than stereo?
It depends what kind of song you're doing. A lot of good rock and roll songs where the major thing holding the song together is the drum beat. It's really good to have in stereo, because it really sounds like you're on stage listening to a drummer who's right in the middle, right out in front.
When you're on stage, do you have to position yourself in a particular way for the band or for the particular hall that you're in?
Well, it's set up the same way every night, and the stage is like divided up to quarters. Like Randy and I are on the left side, and Blair and Fred are on the right side. And most drummers usually sit in the middle, but I'm like almost in the front line, you know, like right. Instead of being behind the three guys, I'm part of the four up front.
Was this a dream of you guys to have Little Richard on your album?
We've always wanted, I guess we can call it a legend, you know, like Little Richard, you know, he's a legend. And we try to think of somebody that could play really good rock and roll piano on there, and who else can you think of? You know,
really?
Who else comes to mind?
Little Richard, baby.
And, you know, we were very, very happy, you know, that he was, you know, really happy to do it, and the session went really good, and as far as I'm concerned, it turned out great and put a really good touch to our album.
Well, we want to thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy day. We know you're going to have a smash performance tonight. Robbie Bachman of B.T.O. Continued success to the Bachman Turner Overdrive. Any more plans? How about TV or whatever? Where else can we see you?
We do have a TV special, or a TV movie, whatever you want to call it. We're not sure when it's going to be sold or who's going to get it, but we've been filming for a year all over Europe and that, and some dates here in the U.S. And just constant touring. new album, that's about it.
Right on. Thank you so much, and continued
Thank you.
success to the Bachman Tyner Overdrive.